So besides my video, diplomatic community video cover number 2, where I ran 2 football fields and I set up my camera, ran 2 football fields, I had satellite following me, and at 6 minutes 54 seconds, you'll hear a horn honk, and you'll see a light go up in the air, and that light came off of me. But again, it's at 6 minutes 54 seconds. You'll hear a car horn honk. You have to put it on big screen, and then you'll see the light go up. But turn it up and you keep listening to it, and you hear and after a short bit of you keep listening to it, you hear and you hear like an artificial collapse, and then you fast forward to 9 minutes, and you hear like what sounds like a jaguar, and it's like hunting me. It's trying to get to my phone because it's trying to follow me with pingers neurologically. Because I can like go outside the Fayetteville Library and I see like diamonds lighting up in the sky, but they're trying to follow me like to my neurology. And then go to 10 minutes 32 seconds, and you hear like this demon, and then you hear like rah, rah, rah. And then if you look at there's like a, you can barely tell, like, but at the on the left hand side towards the middle, at 10 minutes 32 seconds, you'll hear that, you'll see where the satellite's trying to follow and look for my camera. It's trying to like find where my phone is at, because it was trying to hold the satellite picture. Like I can set this up at the bank while they're having like a concert, and I could go off and it will follow the satellite, will follow me, but it'll hold the picture to where the satellite looks like it's steel, and then it looks like a star going off forward. It's very intelligent, but when I spin around in circles, boom, it shot off of me. But I even had like I worked at Blue Ridge Power, and I had like everybody there at Blue Ridge Power had like a like 3,000 people in the field. They all knew who I was somehow. When I went to orientation, they were like talking about an investigation, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And I even called Blue Ridge Power, and I left them my name. Um, I was an employee at Blue Ridge Power. Um, if you want to get in touch with who I am originally, and you are the FBI CIA, my foreman was Michael Boone, um, who about the only one that could tell you about who there was an investigation with, that likes to take off Saturdays because he's Jewish. Um, but again, I'm not Jewish. It's kind of a pun. Um, Anyways, it's just kind of one of those things. But you just had to be there. But the day before I went to work, I had 4 dudes beat me up in the street. They like slashed my tires, slashed my gas tanks. Had to put all that shit back together just to get to work. Busted out my windows. I show up to work, busted windows. I had guns drawn on me, brandished. They weren't drawn, but they were brandished at me because I thought I was a bad guy. But little does Blue Ridge Power know that I had to call them. I was like, look, you know that North Carolina Oath Keepers, ever since they worked with the FBI, they work with a whole other terms of mapping militant projects, and that's 119 different militant actions within 712 different ways of layering them. Like, I had somebody open up an investigation on me that wasn't even the FBI or the CIA or the police. It was just some form of alternate military that was an extremist military, and like ever since then they've been trying to get me, and like the whole Blue Ridge Power. You know that ask Rufus, Rufio, what's his name? He's in Piles, but he's really in Layout. Um, Rufus or something. But it's like the eagle will be respected, and I'm like, I never fucking disrespected your eagle. Your guys are following like Hezbollah or some shit like that, because they got admins and stuff, and like they'll just start marketing black people like Hezbollah, Hezbollah. It's like they're like just mapping in motherfuckers just for no reason, and it's a satanic military. But it's mainly neo-Nazis. You would think that it was everybody else, but it's neo-Nazis, and they got everybody tricked out. Um, I've applied for my I applied to the EOE. I submitted my report to them under Bastion Concord. I said, look, I'm been trying to get the witness protection program for me and Maria Oppenheimer. Um, I talked to Officer Perez of Raleigh yesterday. I said, look, not for nothing, but I have witness protection program in order, and I'm trying to get that done. And he said, well, we can't do anything about that until, because he's taken me in one time before and thought I was crazy because of what was going on. and I didn't have anything. They took my stuff. Right? They took everything. Like, you know, I didn't have anything. So I was like, well, I can't very well run around in my shorts. You know? And so I said, look, I got these astral vampires after me from the 534. No, but you know, nobody understands it. And then I got held against my will in behavioral health again, which cost a fortune. Um, but I did give him a $300 knife, so he deserved it. But I thought they were gonna like shoot me and shit. Like I was like, here, so I threw my knife out. I was like, just don't shoot me. I'm not an aggressive person, um, but you know, it's just. And then I called today. I called the witness protection program. I called the FBI itself, and they're very nice. And he's like, well, you know, but once that is submitted to, because he said, well, they're federal. I said, okay. He said, so we're not state. He said, so as soon as those reports go in, and they submit those reports, I would assume they would offer you that protection because they're federal. I was like, okay. I was like, well, that's odd because one called me yesterday, and they're very good at what they do. But I submitted these reports, and they know what's going on with the nodes and the military and the Contra, and then like I had one call me the other day and say, look, somebody was trying to get into your password. We just wanted to call and let you know about it. And it was the FBI themselves. I said, thank you. So, and I've called within these FBI submissions, I've asked for my father, Joe Dennis Christian, to have the proper procedures followed so that he isn't being held against his will because of certain things going on in my family, so that he could have witness protection program. But you know, by like they could take him aside and bring him down to precinct and say, "Look, you're away from your house, you're safe. Do you want this?" Because he knows he's been taken in, so he can accept it without, you know. And then as well as for me and Maria Oppenheimer, like it's just like I haven't seen my girlfriend in a long time, you know, and like I just don't know what's going on. Like it just that's what it is. And so, um, yeah, but he did say, well, as long as it's federal, but you know, but I even submitted within the FBI reports, like I am asking as an FBI submission report that I am asking for this, and I've turned it into EOE. This is where I live. This is my name. Officer Perez knows who I am. So if you're putting two and two together, you know, of Raleigh, he knows that there's a girl missing. So, you know, it is what it is. Just can we admit that after January 6th, the FBI no longer works with white power? Can we admit that? Because they got tried for sedition, and they also killed 2 Metropolitan police officers by psychotronic harassment with military satellites. And then they were like, well, they didn't kill themselves. They were just defamed. You know, like it's like because they were trying to save their budget. Because again, if you kill yourself under excommunication of religion, Satanism gets it all. But yeah, nobody knows what's going on. You know, basically with the satanic write-ups that's going on within the NSF and within Mapping Militant Projects and within the Imperium itself, if you are Muslim, if you are Christian, like, and they keep trying to get me to be a Crip. I don't want to be a Crip because Crips will rape the shit out of you until you kill yourself. They'll put you into a bracket where like if I went to prison right now and I was just like, well, I joined the Crips if I did, and I never did. But Alexander Lawson came from my hometown and he joined the Crips because he has a trident on his hand, Pazuzu Alograd, and they raped him until he killed himself. You know why that is? Because they're robbing the mosque. They're robbing the Catholic Church, and now the Catholic Church. My father connected to the Catholic Church. He went to a meeting where all of the non-denominationals they met up with the Catholic Church to join the Secretariat of Investigations because it was important to get involved in Satanism, I guess. But as far as this, like when you join, like all of the satanic military that is within the Mapping Military Projects itself is, and it also connects to the Ziggurat in California through CalGang to monitor commanded cultists for Node 534 Temple of Blood, because it goes to Emerson and then Emerson Collective, and it then goes back to CalGang, the Technical Node Committee. All this goes back to, if I was a Satanist and I had one write-up within an investigation, say we had like a rapist or something, and I was like, well, if you want to join my investigation on the Secretariat Board of whatever they call this, well, then I would say, well, look, as a Satanist, I say all of what's mine is mine, and what I owe state and what I owe back to corporate, it's corporates. But as far as when my Satanism goes, if he dies of excommunication because he committed suicide, I'm gonna put most of my eggs in the Catholic churches bank account, because I know these non-profit, non-denominationals, they believe in silliness. So, but at the end of the day, I'm going to put all of mine mainly in Catholic Church to redistribute back to them, because they're not going to get any of it, because they excommunicate us because I killed them by satellite. And you know what? In the mosque, they're not going to get shit either, because excommunication. So legally, as Satanist, I cannot give you shit. So go fuck yourself. Welcome to my hell. And that's what their Satanists are doing. But I can't get anybody to help me. And thank you for listening.